Today, we are going to work with our parables. Remember that parables are presents that were given to you long before you were born. Today, we are going to remember the 6 parables that we have heard over the past few weeks. I wonder what you learned about God in these parables. I wonder what you learned about yourself in these parables. I wonder what you learned about the kingdom of heaven in these parables. The first parable was the parable of the Good Shepherd. One day, someone asked Jesus who he was, and he said, "I am the Good Shepherd." The Good Shepherd leads his sheep. He knows each one by name, and if any sheep goes missing or is in danger, the Good Shepherd will search for that sheep until he finds them. I wonder who the Good Shepherd really is. I wonder who the sheep really are. The next parable was the parable of the Good Samaritan. One day, someone said to Jesus, "I know the most important thing to do is love God and love my neighbor. But who is my neighbor?" So Jesus told him this parable. A man was traveling and he was attacked by robbers. They hurt him, took everything he had, and left him by the side of the road half dead. A priest and a Levite who were from his city both walked by the hurt man, and they didn't help him. But then a man from a different city came by and helped the man who was hurt. He made sure that he was taken care of. I wonder who the neighbor was in that story. The third parable was the parable of the great pearl. Jesus told this parable when someone asked him, "What is the kingdom of heaven like?" Heaven is like when a person who buys and sells fine pearls goes to search for the great pearl. When he found the great pearl, he went and exchanged everything for that pearl. I wonder what the great pearl could really be. The fourth parable is the parable of the sower. Again, someone asked Jesus, "What is the kingdom of heaven like?" And Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like when a sower, someone who plants seeds, goes out to sow. And as he sows, some seeds fall on the path, and the birds of the air came and ate the seeds. Some seeds fell among the stones, but they couldn't push their roots all the way in, so when the sun came up, it scorched them, and they died. Some seeds fell on the thorns, but they choked the seeds, and they died. Some seeds fell on the good earth. When the seeds pushed their little roots down into the good earth, they could go all the way in, so they grew and they grew. When they were cut off and gathered up at the harvest was 30, 60, and 100 bushels. I wonder who the sower could really be. The fifth parable was the parable of the leaven. Again, someone asked Jesus, "What is the kingdom of heaven like?" And Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like leaven that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour," which is a lot of flour. She hid the leaven in the mixture and it swelled up and was leavened all over. It got big and puffy like the bread you buy in the store. I wonder what the bread could really be. The sixth parable is the parable of the mustard seed. Again, someone asked Jesus, "What is the kingdom of heaven like?" And Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like when a person took the tiniest of all the seeds, a grain of mustard seed, and put that seed in the ground, and it began to grow. The shrub grew so big it was like a tree, and the birds of the air came and they made their nests there." Now I wonder who put the tiny seed in the ground. So those were our 6 parables, our 6 presents that were given to us before we were born. I wonder which one was your favorite. I wonder what you learned about God in these parables. I wonder what you learned about yourself in these parables. I wonder what you learned about the kingdom of heaven in these parables. Now I want you to take out paper and crayons or colored pencils or whatever you have around, and I want you to draw a picture or write down some thoughts about these questions. I'll tell you what the questions are again. And if you want to have your parents take a picture and share them with me, I would love to see what you write and what you draw. So here are your questions. I wonder what you learned about God in these parables. I wonder what you learned about yourself in these parables. I wonder what you learned about the kingdom of heaven in these parables.